Hey, how's it going? Let me know when you can hear me. Is my audio coming through? If you're talking, I can't hear you right now. Oh, there's looks like Paul. Oh, Paul's connecting to audio. Sweet.
Hey, Damon.
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Hey, sorry about that. I was trying to get on with my PC, but I forgot there's no mic.
No, you're good. You're good. Awesome. Is this gonna be you and me today, or should we wait for other people to join?
Uh, I believe Tail was supposed to be getting on.
Okay, I'll give him a few more minutes here. How's everything going for you today?
It's going all right. It's just this sudden rain.
Oh, dude, I don't handle the rain well. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan. I uh I grew up in Washington State, like on the eastern side, and the east side of Washington is like dry. It's like it's like Idaho. And then I lived in Seattle for a few years and I was miserable. Like I love the city, but I just could not handle the rain.
Yeah.
And so yeah, on Saturday this week, I live in Salt Lake City now. So anyways, I got one of my friends was like, "Hey, my buddy can't make it to the game. He's got season tickets." It was like Arizona State at Utah. He's like,
Uh-huh.
"Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Sure." So me and my son were gonna go. He's like 9, and we like got halfway downtown, and then it's just craziest rainstorm. The lightning, just the wind is sideways. So we just decided to skip it. We're like, seats are free. We don't want to. The game started at 8:30. Like, I don't want to be in the rain till midnight.
Yeah. 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 I remember you said you're a Mariners fan.
I'm a Mariners fan. I'm a
Uh,
Mariners fan. Oh man, dude, I'm on cloud nine right now. Like, we've just been so bad for so long that not even bad. We've just been like average.
yeah. Nothing
And
special.
right, we always are like one game out. Anyway, so I was celebrated a little too hard this weekend, but we're good.
Yeah. I mean, they beat the Blue Jays yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're up 2-0 on
Yeah.
the
Crazy.
series, which is nuts. Are you a Dodgers fan?
You know, I have to be, I'm from
You have
LA.
to. You're in LA. Yeah. I mean, if my hometown team was that good, I would be very happy. So
Yeah,
my
I think it's just because I'm more into football.
mm,
It's just because baseball, like I love watching highlights, but like
it's a
watching,
long game.
yeah, it's tough, At least football, you could see some guys, just tackling the shit out of each other and like crazy stuff happening. But I mean, lately it seems like it's all kind of rigged, but you
Dude,
know,
last night seemed super rigged. Like
yeah,
Jaden Daniels just fumbles at the 45-yard line.
yeah, yeah,
One of my
yeah.
buddies had money on the Commanders, and he's like, "You cannot tell me that was not on purpose."
Yeah, man, it's a little bit weird, you know what I'm saying?
No, NFL scares me when it comes to, I like to bet on sports, and I would never touch the NFL with anything real because it's like, dude, it feels so rigged, man. Like,
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
I'm also a Seahawks fan, and like 2 weeks ago we were playing the Buccaneers. We were up 35-28. Baker Mayfield, of course, runs down, scores a touchdown, which I kind
Yeah,
of was expecting. We got the ball back with like, I think there was about a minute left.
yeah.
And so I was thinking, okay, maybe we can dink our way down and get like a walk-off field goal. And then
Yeah,
Sam Darnold just throws a pick. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing? How are you throwing a pick in opponent territory?
yeah,
It's too unpredictable.
yeah, man.
Um,
I became a Seahawks fan because of Pete Carroll.
oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was a big USC fan,
See,
and
I grew up hating Pete Carroll.
yeah.
Well, because I was a Washington fan and he coached at
Oh
USC.
yeah, yeah,
But then
yeah,
like so then when we signed when he became our head coach, I was like I think I was about 18, 17 maybe.
yeah.
Um like then he brought in Marshawn Lynch and I was like, all right, this guy's, not bad.
Of course, yeah.
Marshawn Lynch is like still my all-time favorite football player. Like
Oh, dude, he's a monster, bro.
it's uh it's fun. I got married a few months ago and my wife has zero, like her family's just like not a sports family. Like they're a, Broadway family.
Um,
Lots of sisters and stuff. And
yeah,
so I've been slowly introducing her to sports. Um, so this playoffs, she's really stuck it through. She was like 15 innings is a long game, but now
yeah,
she's starting to get there. But
yeah,
I've been going back and showing her some of the big Seahawks highlights. I'm like, all right, if you're gonna watch Seahawks games with me for the rest of your life, you got to know who the Legion of Boom are. Like
yeah,
you have to know who Cam Chancellor is. You have to know the Beastquake
yeah,
1.0 and
yeah,
2.0. So every night I'll just throw up some highlights. I'm like, all right, you got to know we were down to the Packers 19-7.
yeah.
Showing her all these vintage highlights. All right, I'm not sure if Teo's joining. So what we could do though is you and me can just start talking through some of these. I mean, I could use the whole call to talk about sports, but
Yeah.
I'll hop over here on the. What we'll do is we'll start talking through some of these settings and how you guys might want to provision them.
Yeah.
Luckily, anything that we do here, especially before we bring in live inventory, we can undo. So
Okay.
yeah, we don't have to be like some of these things you can toy around with them a little bit.
Mhm.
Specifically today, what we're going to talk about is three things, and that is number one, warehouse settings and users and roles. Number two, locations, how we want our locations to look inside the warehouse. And then we'll
Mhm.
talk a little bit about customer settings. So I kind of like to let me make sure I'm in the right spot here. Am I showing the right screen? It says James World right here.
Yeah.
Perfect. So this left-hand pane is going to be really like your, get to anything. I always just like to say these three are where you live most of the time
Mhm.
after you're provisioned. Orders, anything going out, receipts, anything coming in, and inventory is just, going to let you click through all of your different customers, what they currently have in stock, and like you can view the track buys, the pallet IDs, anything else you guys need.
Mhm.
So we'll probably spend most of our time though here in the beginning under these three tabs, which is warehouse, items, and customers. So we have warehouse, manage warehouse. This is going to be just our basic settings for the warehouse. And this is your LA location, right? Would you guys have a specific name or a number that you call this warehouse by?
I mean, just the Cerritos warehouse.
Spell that right?
2 hours.
Cerritos. And what's the address there?
16918 Edwards Road.
And that's going to be in the United States, California. Cerritos?
Yep.
Do you know the zip code there?
90703.
All right. We are going to be in Pacific time. And then we can leave these other settings blank. Now, other things you can add on this tab, you can add your UPS account number and your warehouse FedEx account number. These don't necessarily, there's a different process to actually connect to those carrier accounts. But if you just want to have those for reference for your team, you
Mhm.
can store those here. And then customizations, we can add a few different things. We can change this from metric. So if you guys had like a location that was out of the United States, they're using different units, you could change that there. And then we
Mhm.
can turn on a couple different settings using predefined locations. We'll just turn these off for now. They're not necessarily important, but basically what we can also do is we can say how many fields per location. So do you have names? This kind of leads right into our location discussion. Do you guys have names already for your locations in the warehouse?
I mean, we did for our previous warehouse. We're still working on the ones for right now.
Okay.
Just had so many stuff going in and out that we just haven't had time to really set things up. But
That's no problem. So what we kind of have to do at some point,
mhm,
and I don't even necessarily have to do it. You can do it on the line. It's up to you. Is what we'll do is we can import locations. So say you have 500 locations, rather than adding them all individually by clicking create and then saying what they are, we can import these. So each of these settings that I'm about to walk through, we can bulk import the locations. But for now, let's just walk through what these
mhm,
all do. So manage locations. This is where we can edit certain areas of the location so that we can know where all of our pallets are. We can pick from certain locations. And so that all kind of starts right here with location ID. That field right here, where it says number of fields per location, that's because we have one, two, three, four fields here, meaning if we want to have like aisle, maybe aisle, bay, level, position, those are the ones I usually see here. But some customers just want to have them all right here. So you can say you have like an A28. You could have that like this, or you could have that be A28, one left. So there's a few different options. Whatever you do end up doing, we just want to be consistent. So if you decide you want to just have us all be on one location, we can do that, one location field.
mhm,
It can be A1, 28, 1L, and the system will accept either or as long as you stay consistent, you shouldn't have a problem. So you guys can have that discussion in terms of what locations you want to import. We can always do that down the line, but just kind of keep these in your mind as you guys have those discussions, what the system's able to do. So we can have four different location fields, and we have a bunch of different location types.
mhm,
The storage location is going to be your most flexible. Basically, that's what I see most of my clients do is just all of their locations are storage locations, except for maybe a few that might be staging.
mhm,
If I click on a staging location, it's going to default to non-pickable. So any pallets that I put in store or staging, whether that's in or out, they're not going to be available for on-hand inventory quite yet. They won't be
mhm,
allocated to an order. You can put them away and then they can actually become available to be allocated after that. Then we have put away vehicle. Usually I see this being like a forklift. Sometimes people have carts that they're putting things away on. And then quarantine is another one. This is default non-pickable and you can't change it.
mhm,
Quarantine location is a great way to just immediately move things into, and then that will basically put them on hold. Think like damaged goods,
mhm,
um, anything else you might just want to not be pickable. And then we have pick line locations. A pick line, the only time you really necessarily use this is say you have high volume, small parcel, like individual things. You want to create a pick line. It's good to just tell the system what that is because then we can create a pick path, which then allows, kind of mapping through the warehouse on the pick schedule. So if we want to pick things, how do I want my workers to weave in and out of the warehouse?
mhm.
All right. Any questions there on those things? Anything that comes to mind that I can clear up?
No, not yet.
All right. So this part's relatively simple. So I'm just going to have this be called a test one for now.
Mhm,
And then this capabilities tab here, we can enter the width, length, height, the max weight in a location, and also the temperature and quantity that we want. And basically, this is going to be just for reference. So say you have like a max weight, we'll still allow you to move things in the system that exceed that max weight. But if you want to keep that for reference, you have that right here.
mhm,
And then we have allocation priority. So when you just create a new location, these are going to default to 5 9s right here. And basically what this does, this allows you to skip the line. So after we set up your items, we have maybe first in, first out, first expired, first out, whatever the like default allocation logic is. This is a
mhm,
way you can skip that. So you can change this down to one. The lower the number, the like near the front of the line they are. So hypothetically, you have an area that you just want to move things into and pull from. You can make that allocation priority one, and then the system, when it's putting things on an outbound order, is going to look first to see if there's any product in a high allocation location. All right, I'm gonna take a quick drink real quick. I've just talked really fast. All right, so we have this area as well. So for billing right now, for recurring storage, how do you guys generally charge per pallet for recurring storage? Do you charge like minimums? How are you guys doing storage for your customers right now?
Predominantly, it's by pallet.
Okay, perfect. So more than likely, we'll keep billing types as none. What this allows you to do is create billing types for a location so that you can have a surcharge for putting product in a location. So these are all going to have no drop down immediately, but what you can do is go to admin, location billing type, and you can add these. So common one I see is like cold storage. Say they have a section of the warehouse that's cold or whatever it needs to be. They might add a location billing type for that. But here, just to start, I'm just going to save this. We're going to have a location now that we can put things in.
Mhm.
I'm going to call this staging as well. Call it non-pickable. So now we'll have two locations that we can just test things out with. All right. So this is our warehouse tab. Kind of the last thing that's kind of important to talk through a little bit is users. Now we just changed the way that we create users in the hub. So I'm going to actually go out of 3PL Warehouse Manager and just kind of walk through this with you. So right now we have just this tile, but here in just a couple weeks, we'll have a smart scan tile, we'll have a billing manager tile, and then we'll probably have an accounting integration tile. And what these tiles do is they're different products or areas of Extensive. More than likely, you and your team are just going to spend your time in 3PL Warehouse Manager. But say you have a billing team member, they might only spend time in billing. So we can give people access to all of these different tiles, all these different products, or we can just give them access to certain ones, and we do that here in users. So first thing we've got is roles. These roles right here are just basically customer user, manager, system admin, and view only. If I go to users though, and I want to create a user, we've got these four right here. We go create user. You enter their name, what kind of user they are. We can do test. We go 3PL warehouse user, select their job title. We'll say this person's just a warehouse associate. We go next, select their role. For any of your users that are just associates or you don't want them to actually change things just to be able to view things or pick, you'll probably do view only. And then you can add the products here. So this would show you all of the different tiles or products that you guys have added. Right now, we just have this one. We click add. We'd say they're a warehouse admin. We always click level 0. I don't really have any explanation as to why. We just always pick level 0. And then you go next. And then you can choose which warehouses that they're associated with. So I know there's going to be another one put in here at some point. I think Tejo is the one that's going to be, or Terry is going to be the one who's going to be provisioning that warehouse.
Mhm.
So you can have your, Cerritos employees only have access to Cerritos, and whoever's in Alabama just have their Alabama one. But we basically just toggle it on or off here, click next, and then you can choose whether to create a password or have the system just assign a one-time passcode. Once they log in with that, they'll be prompted to change their password. So you click finish and save. This will send an invite, and that's how users are added.
Mm,
All right, any questions about that?
no.
All right, sweet. So kind of the next thing here, and this is what I wanted to, we're actually speeding through this. So basically what I wanted to talk about real quick is how we want to handle test customers, test items, and test receipts and orders while we do this implementation. So what I found to be pretty effective is to get data from your real customer and use that to provision, as opposed to me just creating fake customers, fake items that doesn't really, the information just doesn't stick as well, right? So I was thinking before our next call, which I believe is Thursday, could you come up with maybe a list, maybe two customers that we could create test data with? And all we would really need from them are an item list and then maybe a test receipt and a test order, or like a sample receipt, sample order that they've used. And then on the next call, I'll have you share your screen and I'll walk through each of these different areas. And this is, I would say, this is something that you guys will do more frequently. So I like to have you share your screen and walk you through it.
Mhm.
Locations and stuff are something that kind of only happens once or maybe twice, but I'll have you share your screen. We'll walk through each of these settings do for those two customers that you've chosen, and then kind of their receipt flow, how they're bringing things in, their order flow, how things are leaving the warehouse, and then also an item list and how we're going to set up some items for that customer. So you guys can just kind of get a feel for A, what this looks like to actually work with real product with a real customer, both in and out, and then B, it help kind of preps us to then start looking at their billing. Do you have a couple customers that you could probably have that stuff for by Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So we'll actually just kind of make this a quick one and then kind of plan out the next step. So I'll send this in a follow-up email, but basically for next call, just two customers, an item list. It doesn't even have to be a full item list. We just maybe do a handful of items,
Mhm.
maybe a sample receipt and then a couple sample orders. And
Mhm.
then on that call, I'll have you share your screen. We'll walk through setting up items, importing items, and kind of why that's important. So, um, any overarching questions for me at this point?
So these receipts are these your doc receipts, right?
Yeah, just it's an inbound or something, anything coming into the warehouse, and then how that product's leaving the warehouse. So whether that's going to an end user, it could be a storage customer that's just going back into a main warehouse, but just basically an in and out sample.
Okay. Once these receipts are made, can we send out a receipt?
That's kind of what I wanted to do was get a sample receipt of something you've already received for a customer, and then show you what that looks like in extensive, so that you kind of get used to that flow.
Okay. Okay.
That work?
Yeah, but I was wondering if once we take that receipt in, are we able to send that receipt to like, let's say operations?
Yes, that's exactly it. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, that's the nice part is right now I'm imagining. Do you guys use any sort of like way to track this inventory digitally, or you just like spreadsheets?
Spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets, right? So based on what I see a lot, there's a lot of emails back and forth, maybe to operations, or you're sharing spreadsheets. You're pulling customer reports and then giving those to customers. So the idea is that all of that's going to live inside Extensive, and then rather than having to send it to operations, we're just going to give them logins. They'll be able to
Okay.
see
Right.
like closed receipts, what they have on hand, what they need to do. And that's what we'll do with those roles that I was just kind of showing you. Is once we get closer to live, we'll come up with a list of different roles in your warehouse, operations, billing, picking, seasonal, whatever it might be. We'll create those roles. We'll invite those people, and we'll give them a little bit of a tour of how things should look inside the system.
Okay. All right.
That sound like a plan?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sweet. So a couple test receipts, a couple outbounds, maybe a couple customers. We'll provision them in the next call. Um, and then we'll actually just save some time, saves 20 minutes on the project. So thanks for showing up today.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Simon.
Bye.
Bye.